The fires exploded one after the other all over Los Angeles, more than 50 in 4 days, and more than enough to worry a city already living with the constant threat of wildfires. But tonight, according to police, there has been a big break. A suspected serial arsonist is in custody thanks to the sharp eye of a volunteer sheriff's deputy, a man who virtually risks his life for a salary of $1 a year. Here's ABC's David Wright with the very latest from LA.
More than 50 fires in 4 days. From carports and garages from Hollywood to the San Fernando Valley, including a dozen new fires set just last night. So many arson fires that authorities weren't sure if they were dealing with one firebug or a series of copycats.
4 days ago, this task force didn't exist. 4 days ago, this series of crimes did not exist.
The break in the case came early this morning from a rookie reserve sheriff's deputy, Shervin Lalazare, in his fourth shift in a patrol car.
As soon as I put on my lights and initiated a traffic stop of the suspect vehicle, I had an LAPD vehicle behind me ready to go.
Lalazare spotted a minivan on Sunset Boulevard with British Columbia license plates, matching the description of a vehicle seen near some of the fires.
The van resembled a description provided by the Arson Task Force as possibly being related to the recent fires.
The grainy videotape from a security camera at one of the fire scenes showed a man in a ponytail. The suspect, now identified as 24-year-old Harry Burkhart of Hollywood, has a ponytail too.
You could see him, he was already handcuffed. You could see his ponytail, and everyone was like, that's gotta be him. Everyone's been talking about a ponytail for the past 3 days. It's gotta be him.
Rick Savage, a music producer in Hollywood, was so freaked out by the arson spree, he downloaded a scanner app for his iPad this weekend to monitor developments. Today he showed up at 3 a.m. just as police were bundling Burkhart into the car, one of many interested bystanders.
Because obviously everyone in LA hates this guy right now. So, some of these kids were kind of throwing him the finger. And he's got this big smile on his face, like he's the Joker or something. Like, oh, this guy is insane. And obviously he is. He seemed like a character from a Batman movie.
Authorities say a search of the minivan uncovered flammable materials that match what started the fires. But perhaps the biggest clue that authorities got the right man, the arsons suddenly stopped.
We have not responded to any fires since this individual was detained this morning at just after 3 o'clock.
Veteran arson investigator Thomas Derby has helped solve dozens of these kinds of cases over the years.
How unusual is it to have a spree of arsons like this? 55 arsons in 4 or 5 days?
This is the most I've ever seen.
I'm sure you've been following this case with interest.
Yes.
Do you think it's one guy?
Normally, in an arson suspect like this, it is one person. Pyros usually set fires by themselves. They don't want a lot of people watching them. They get a thrill out of knowing that they've caused this problem.
He says often serial arsonists will stay close to the scene of the crime.
Is it likely when the person set this fire that they hung around somewhere and watched?
A lot of times they are in the area because they want to see what happened.
But what could possibly lead someone to cause all this damage and endanger total strangers?
Just isn't fair. It's not right and it's not fair. And whatever his personal issues are, he shouldn't be taking them out on innocent people.
That's what vexes the victims of the Hollywood arsonist.
It's unbelievable. It's just some burnt up metal.
And there are quite a few of them, including roommates Michael Robbins and Carol Chandler. She lost her car.
It feels like an act of terrorism, that we're being targeted to have spread fear throughout a community and in people's hearts. I just want to know what the reason is.
Sources directly involved in the case tell ABC News the first thing Burkhart said as he was taken into custody is, "I hate America." He's a German national who authorities say may have been motivated by the fact that his mother is about to be deported. Her deportation hearing took place in LA just before Christmas. Of course, that possible motivation doesn't explain everything. Arson experts say there's often deeper pathology at work too.
Sometimes it's sexual gratification, sometimes it's just empowerment that they have.
Sexual gratification?
Yes. They get sexually gratified by the power of the fire. Sometimes it's to control their habit.
Whatever may have motivated this arson spree, LA officials tonight communicated in no uncertain terms they take this very seriously.
If you're considering committing a similar act of arson, know that we will find you, we will arrest you, and we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
Despite today's arrest, authorities are taking no chances, continuing extra patrols, and urging Hollywood residents to keep the lights on in their carports, just in case. I'm David Wright for Nightline in Los Angeles.